Alright, let's go. Welcome back into the Skooshi Sport podcast, guys. Giving you my match reviews from the two Vegas games. Footy is bloody back. Oh my goodness gracious me. I actually was at my full-time job on a Sunday yesterday, like day I'm recording it. So I didn't get to see any of these games live, and I decided to keep my phone on do not disturb all day. Didn't check any scores, didn't check any of my mates' messages. It was absolutely dire, but I was fucking so excited to get home and watch these two games right in front of me. Obviously, I recorded my reactions for you guys live as well, which I've posted like highlights, Critters winning field goal, all that sort of thing to my socials. So make sure you go check that out as well. But footy is back. It just brings such a smile to my face. Normality feels like it's back in our lives. Thank fuck. For the next 7 months, I am absolutely so freaking keen to bring you all the action throughout the season, whether it's round reviews, whether it's previews, whether it's bets, whether it's obviously match reactions as well. I'm going to be trying those match reactions. It was the first time, like, for me, sort of testing out how it's going to look, you know, obviously in regards to like watching a game, you know, and like talking over at the same time, using the program, that sort of thing. I think it worked really well. Let me know what you guys think. If you haven't, make sure you go check out my socials and your thoughts, because I thought I'd probably end up maybe doing like 2 or 3 of those a week, maybe just like, you know, one Thursday, one Friday, one Saturday or something. But honestly, I really enjoyed that. I want to try and do like at least half the games a week, if not more, because it's just really good. Like, I get the screens right in front of me on my computer screen, and I get like put the phone down, and I actually see everything really clear. It made me really enjoy just actually watching footy and just sitting there and just really enjoying it and giving my thoughts. So I think I might start doing that a bit more, but let me know what you guys think. But I'm going to give you my Vegas match reactions from the two games that we had yesterday between the Knights and the Cowboys, and the Doggies and the Dragons. Two pretty good games, honestly, considering the matchups to start the year. I thought, obviously, the Doggies and the Dragons game heading to Golden Point, the first ever game to go to Golden Point in Vegas as well. But before we get into it, make sure you give this video a massive like and subscribe to the channel as well. Hit 100 subscribers last week. Absolutely pumped. It's just the start of something so big. I think I'm so freaking excited every single day, bringing you more and more content, you know, getting more and more traction on my socials as well. My Facebook page in the last month has gone from 107 likes to 950, which I cannot thank you guys enough. My videos are getting more and more views. I absolutely love it. Even though I'm doing this obviously for no money at the moment, I feel like such in a grateful position to be able to bring this and do this for a lot of people, friends and family as well, every single week, every single day almost. So yeah, just wanted to express my little gratitude before we get stuck in. But nevertheless, let's get stuck in to the Knights and the Cowboys game. I've got the scores, and I'm going to show the player stats a little bit later on. So 28-18 to the Knights in this one. Knights were actually underdogs in this one, but I did actually tip the Knights just on like a couple tipping comps to win this game. Despite how poor the Knights were in their last preseason trial before heading off to Vegas against the Doggies, we hadn't really seen the Cowboys, I guess, too much. We'd seen like sort of their first half play against literally a third grade side, Panther side, which they absolutely dominated. And then I forget who actually played in their second trial, but actually, I think they got spanked against the Eels. But I just thought, first game under new coach Justin Holbrook, they had to pretty much show something in this game. I think Todd Payton is probably the favorite coach, or not favorite, for the coach to be under the hot seat this year. I think after this game, he's definitely under a lot of pressure for his second and third game as well, to see how they bounce back from this. I probably think he's going to be one of the first coaches sacked this offseason. I obviously never like saying that about a coach, but that is just my straight up thoughts. I just do think he's going to be under the hot seat. Probably, I think him and Anthony Seibold will be having a pretty tight battle for the first coach actually sacked this season. But Knights fully deserve this game. They jumped straight out the gates. First 25 minutes, you just thought, where the hell has this been from Newcastle all of 2025? Maybe it was just Adam O'Brien. KP, he looked like he was back into 2023 Dalian form. absolutely blistering, and he was on from, you know, sort of the first minute as well. It didn't take any sort of time for him to settle in. He didn't even play a freaking trial. I think he had 2 training sessions with Dylan Brown, the halves there as well. You had your 6 Fletcher Sharp go down as well after 25 minutes, and the way that they were able to go about that, Sandon Smith filling in, obviously in that 14 role, coming into that 6 role. Thought Dylan Brown was really solid in his role as well in the first game at 7. I think they'll only grow and get better. Interesting to see what obviously they do with Fletcher Sharp heading into like rounds 2 and 3. Obviously they've got like a week off, and then they come back and play Manly, and then I forget who they play in round 3. But from what I've heard, I think he's going to be out about 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm picking he'll be back around round 4-ish, round 3 maybe. So maybe just a 1 game out for Fletcher Sharp. But Fletcher Sharp in that first 20 minutes, he was absolutely blistering. I'm also going to do a little bit of a Supercoach sort of rundown as well in another podcast. So if you want to sort of a bit more of a Supercoach sort of breakdown of these 2 games, make sure you go check out that game. But this is just more breaking down the actual 2 games that we saw yesterday. And yeah, it just goes back. I was just really impressed with Newcastle. Probably, I said, they dominated the first 20, 25 minutes. They came out 12-0. Probably I thought they may have been a bit higher or a bit more. And then the Cowboys just started to work their way a little bit more back into it. Once that Fletcher Sharp injury happened, it was such a turning point, I thought, during that game when Fletcher Sharp copped that knee injury and actually ended up this, I don't know whether it was him deciding to stay on the field. I would assume so. Or the trainer trying to keep him on there. They kept him on for 1 set, which are having to defend their line. And they just sent the ball straight to his side there on the left, or like the right Cowboys attacking side. And Healy and Lukey broke straight through. First game in, 18 months since sort of September 2024. So really good to see him back healthy and fresh on the field. He actually played 80 minutes as well, scoring the first try for the Cowboys. Then they actually pretty much went back-to-back tries. They scored in the 25th minute and then the 30th minute with Manu Taulagi in the corner as well. And all of a sudden, that 12-0 start that Newcastle had after a dominant start just turned into 12-all, just like that. And you just thought, I thought up probably halftime, I was like, okay, like, you know, Newcastle got out to that hot start. Cowboys maybe a bit nervous in Vegas, that sort of thing expected. I'm probably expecting the Cowboys just to probably not run away with it, but probably just to be a little bit of the better team in the second half here and just get the win, whether it's like 4 points, 10 points, that sort of thing. And as I said, credit to Newcastle once again. A little bit of a broken play for that Bradman Best try. I think there's a couple offloads in there. Sandon Smith gets the ball, puts the inside ball to KP, puts him through a hole, and then he gives the ball to a 2-on-1 situation to Bradman Best, and puts him under the sticks to take them to an 18-12 lead. Then just a couple minutes later, essentially another back-to-back set. Nice ball movement to the right. Dom Young scores in the corner, take the lead 22-12 there. And then this was kind of like a bit of a repeating sort of happening on Vegas and Sunday. Was not completing a set after a try. I'm going to go through the team stats in a little bit here, but just giving you a little bit of a rundown. But Cowboys pretty much get the ball back straight after a Knights second try there in the second half. And you just thought if they need to swing their momentum, they pretty much have to score here. And it kind of did look like a little bit of an obstruction there from Helium Lukey, not Helium Lukey, but I think it was Sam McIntyre or either Kai O'Donnell on Jermaine McEwen. And that allowed Jake Clifford just to put a little cheeky grubber through. Manu Taulagi cleans up there, getting his double in Vegas, 22-18 with 30 minutes to go. And we're in for a pretty good finish. And it kind of looked like the Cowboys were running downhill. And you just thought in the last 10 minutes, the Cowboys are going to get this try and get the kick and be 24-22, and they're going to end up winning this game. And then, I guess kind of out of nowhere, Braden Burns, he made the right defensive read. He 100% made the right defensive read in this game, I thought. And I'm just going to put it back to my screen. And I thought he made definitely the right move to go jump out and sort of go for Callum Ponga. Just didn't execute it right. Got him shoulder to head, and ended up Braden Burns going for 10 in the bin with 10 minutes to go. And you probably thought then it's going to be pretty hard for the Cowboys to work their way back into it after that one there. What I was very confused about in this situation is I'm not sure if the NRL needs to go more in depth or what the ruling is in this situation. But considering what happened with Eli Katoa in the offseason, I just thought there'd be way more precaution on this sort of thing. I don't know where tinfoil hat, where it's like because he's a big name player in Vegas. I just think if you get a shoulder to head high tackle and someone gets 10 in the bin, the other player should really be going off for a HIA. I don't know what the process is with obviously the doctor on the field, that sort of thing, where they clear him. I just think if you get shoulder to head, you're pretty much in a likely position where you've copped a big head knock and you should be going off and getting a HIA. If you pass, you pass. Doesn't matter what sort of minutes it is, doesn't matter what the situation is in the game. We don't want another Eli Katoa situation. It's the last thing we want. Callum Ponga has had a few concussions now, pretty bad ones. Nearly extra retired from it as well. And I just thought it was a bit of a strange one, him not going off for a HIA in that situation there. But next set, obviously Knights kick it down the field, and then Sandon Smith puts up this little bomb, and it wasn't a little kick to the right side with Dom Young, and it wasn't a good kick whatsoever. It was a bit of a nothing kick, and then landed about 10 meters out. Dom Young manages to pluck it out the air, go down to the ground, offload it to Trey Mooney, who was there in support, and put the ball down, which pretty much put the game out of reach for the Cowboys there, 28-18, a man down as well, about 8 minutes to go. But overall, I was just really impressed. I was just really impressed by the Knights. They were the better team. Obviously, we had Drinkwater go off in about the 20th minute, I think, with a rib cartilage injury. Ended up coming back onto the field. How many minutes did he end up playing in that game? He ended up playing 68 minutes. So I think he came on about the 35th minute or something back on the field there. Did look like he obviously had some injections while he was off to bring him back on, whether he was a bit uncomfortable playing. Jackson Purdue filled in at fullback in the meantime there. They actually put Kai O'Donnell in at center in the meantime, which at the time I thought was probably a bit odd. Looks like, whether they put Kai O'Donnell to the left edge and McKaylee in the middle. Just looking at that, 9 minutes is just really odd considering you have 6 players on the bench that you can use now. Maybe thought they'd put Robert Darby on, but maybe they kind of knew it wasn't that serious. But let's have a look at the team stats anyway, just run through it. So possession was pretty even, time and possession was pretty even as well. Completion rates, I mean, it was first round, right? Like, yeah, I'd be surprised if completion rates for both teams were over 80%. Considering these teams, I think Knights actually had like one of the best completion rates last year. Just their attack was just so bad. Cowboys, you know what you're going to get from the Cowboys. It's hot and cold. They like to attack with the ball. Obviously, Drinkwater injured kind of did halt that a little bit. So 76% completion rate. Run meters, very similar. Post contact, very similar. 4-2 line breaks for Newcastle. I think KP had 2 of those. 41 missed tackles for the Cowboys, 37 for the Knights. Their average set distance was very similar as well. So you look at these numbers here, and overall, the game was pretty even all around, which I guess it was, honestly, with 10, 15, 20 minutes to go. Just Knights pulling away at the end there, and I guess that Braden Burns-Simmons was quite crucial in the end. Phoenix Crossland getting at 40-20 there as well. 12 errors each, 4 to 5 penalties conceded, not too many 6 agains. I've seen a few comments to say that Ashley Klein didn't really ref the best game. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was amazing. I just thought it was okay. I thought Grant Atkins was probably the worst of the two there. I'm definitely being critical. Let's go through some player stats. I'll start with the Newcastle Knights. And the star of the show was Absa. I spoke about him before, Kalen Ponga. From the first minute, he looked on. He looked interested. He was first receiver, he was second receiver, he was third receiver, he was everywhere. He was wanting the ball in any situation he could get. And you probably thought, oh, it depends what situation you looked at. You probably may think that Dylan Brown, as the $13 million man, would be the one getting the ball the most. But at the end of the day, you've still got a Dalian fullback. You've got an Origin fullback there who's won a series for Queensland. I think he's played for Australia before. We kind of forget about KP just because of his injuries, I think. Man, he was absolutely lights out. Probably the best player on field, I think, for all of Vegas. I think that's probably quite easy to say that as well. Absolutely killed it. Obviously, didn't score a try, but he had 4 out of 5 conversions. 18 runs, 156 meters there, 1 line break there, 2 try assists, 8 tackle breaks in this one. He is absolutely everywhere for Newcastle on this attack. I think he went massive in Supercoach, but obviously I'll talk about that in another podcast. I thought Dom Young wasn't too bad there on the right side, obviously scoring that try in the right corner, not a bad move. 19 runs, 195 meters. Thought him and Greg Marzhew took some really tough runs out of their own 20 in their own half, late in that first half, and then sort of early in that first half as well, when Cowboys was sort of starting to work their way back, bit more back into the game. Had a line break assist, and a try assist as well, obviously, to Trey Mooney. 9 tackle breaks for Dom Young and 7 for Greg Marzhew. So between KP, Dom Young, and Greg Marzhew, had 24 tackle breaks there, which is, honestly, that's exactly what you want to see out of Newcastle. It means they're finding holes, it means they're running hard as well. We know the Cowboys' defense isn't the best in the world, but it's what you want to see from Newcastle, is them running hard, especially for a new coach as well. It's exactly what he would have wanted to see. In the centers, we had Bradman Best obviously scoring that try off KP. I didn't think they were too bad. Didn't think they were amazing. I just think they did their job. Gagai was probably, I thought he was pretty strong defensively. I thought he made some really good tackles, especially on Drinkwater and Jackson Purdue as well. 13 runs, 109 meters, 17 runs, 174 meters for the centers there. Then Gagai line break assist and try assist to Dom Young. 5 tackle breaks. Surprisingly, that Bradman Best did not make a single tackle break in that game. The only one out of the whole of the back sort of 6 to not make a tackle break. But yeah, obviously, I thought the back 5 were pretty solid overall. Fletcher Sharp only played 26 minutes in this one, but scored the first try of the season in this one. He was absolutely electric for the 26 minutes. He is a freaking talent. He had 5 runs, 39 meters in 26 minutes, 5 tackle breaks in the 26 minutes he's played. He had 2 offloads in there as well. He was everywhere. He's dynamic. He is so freaking good, man. He's so dynamic. As just another layer to this Knights attack. And from what I saw in this first 25, if KP, Sharp, and Dylan Brown can keep this up for the season, stay healthy, maybe we're sleeping on this Newcastle team. I don't want to overreact after one game, but I just thought that back 3, or that 3 in that spine, was very solid. Phoenix Crossan, I thought, was very solid as well. He's not a guy that you need to do anything special. Just think you need to give really good service to these 3 players. And we'll see this Knights attack flourish way better than it was last year. Maybe it was a thing where Adam O'Brien was holding him back. I'm not quite sure, but I was very impressed overall with the Knights attack, definitely in this game, considering what happened last year. Trey Mooney, 49 minutes in the middle, obviously scoring a try on a Newcastle debut, 14 runs, 132 meters. I think he played 2 stints in this one as well. Dylan Lucas, absolute machine, 80 minutes on the edge in this one, 16 runs, 138 meters, 67 post contact as well. 1 tackle break. I think he made a bunch of tackles, 45 tackles for 2 minutes. Jermaine McEwen, thought he was a bit quiet. I thought he was obviously solid defensively, 37 tackles. I think I saw there, 68 minutes there. Sandon Smith played a pretty crucial role, stepping into Fletcher Sharp's role for the last 54 minutes of the game, obviously setting up that try for Trey Mooney off that kick, which, I mean, wasn't that great, but still got the job done. 7 runs, 62 meters. Put KP through that hole there as well for the Bradman Best try. Thought he was overall very solid. All right, let's chat a bit about the Cowboys. Obviously, Drinky was pretty disappointing. Obviously, I know he was playing with an injury, played 68 minutes, but just, you could probably say the injury was holding him back. Rib cartilage, I don't think he'll be out. Maybe he's out round 2. Obviously, they've got a week off as well, the Cowboys, while the other round 1 teams play. But 19 runs, 117 meters, which is pretty unlike Drinky. 3 tackle breaks. 1 offload, just couldn't really get anything going in this one. They contained him pretty well. We know how the Cowboys like to play. They're trying, Drinky doesn't really beat anyone around the outside. He loves that over-the-top ball, whether it's to Braden Burns or Murray Taulagi. I just thought the Knights defense really contained him really well and didn't really shoot up too much with Dom Young or Greg Marzhew on the wings. The one time I feel like we did see it is when Murray Taulagi scored that try off the grubber. Beautiful little grubber by Jake Clifford there. I thought Tommy Chester, I was watching this game, I was like, man, he feels like a bit quiet because he's in my Supercoach team. I was like, man, seems like a bit quiet. Then I checked the stats at the end. 18 runs, 182 meters, 69 post contact. Nice. 5 tackle breaks, 1 offload in there, 19 tackles in there in the center as well for 3 missed. Very solid game, I thought, from Tom Chester. I'm very intrigued to see how the Cowboys are going after 2 rounds when Zach Laybutt comes back into this team, whether Tom Chester retains his spot in the team, where Jackson Purdue goes to 6. Obviously, Braden Burns, it sounds like he's going to have a 2-game suspension. Whether, I'm not sure whether they moved like Tom Chester to the wing or something. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there, but I feel like it's pretty. If Tom Chester just feels almost too good to leave him out of the side. Jackson Purdue, I thought, had some pretty good moments. Knights contained him pretty well. 21 runs, 175 meters, 40 post contact in this one here. Jumped in at fullback for a little bit there while Drinky was off the field as well. Looked like they kind of shared a role a little bit in the second half, a little bit between Chester and Drinky at the back there. Murray Talang, we spoke about, and he was probably the star of the show for the Cowboys in this one here with Helium Lukey, 2 tries in Vegas there. But if we look at their back 5 sort of meters, I guess kind of similar to the Knights in a way, but we look at the tackle breaks, so I think is a big difference. 8 for Braden Burns, 6 for Purdue, 5 Chester, 1 Talang. Okay. I honestly thought the Knights back 5 was probably a little bit better than the Cowboys, but maybe I'm a bit wrong there, which I'm happy to put my hand up. Jake Clifford, thought he was solid. Didn't do. I thought Tom Dean, I thought they contained him pretty well. Obviously likes to run it pretty close to the line. He did that a few times, 12 runs, 89 meters, 29 post contact, had a line break assist and a try assist as well. Reed Marnie, 80 minutes, which is good signs for him, especially early on in round 1. Didn't run the ball too much, but just really good service. I think he made a whole bunch of tackles here. 47 tackles, 2 missed as well. Usually we see Marnie shoot out the line, end up with like 6 or 7 missed tackles. Thought Lolo was awesome in this game. Just the runs that he made was really, I thought, really brutal and really good, tough runs. Spoke out Healing Lukey. I thought he was awesome in his return. Then I thought, I guess Cotter was okay. McIntyre was okay. No minutes to Sonny Luke. Thomas Fakali playing 9 minutes. What is up there? I'm very intrigued to see what is up there. Obviously, like Hess and Lolo played like about 40 minutes each. I'm just very intrigued to see how this bench is looking now, especially when they have Lodge and Griffin Neal. Like, Kai O'Donnell plays 60 minutes. Not like, I don't know what's going on there. And Thomas Piquet only playing 9 minutes, which I think was at the end of the first half. I don't know what is doing there. 6 runs for 71 meters. He's too good to play 9 minutes. He captained the first trial for the Cowboys. He just feels like he is too good to just be playing 9 minutes a week in this team. Yeah, that's a weird one. That's definitely a weird one by Todd Payton in that sort of situation there. I didn't even put my screen back on. That is completely my bad. Obviously, just went through the stats there. That's completely my bad in that situation. Absolute rookie error. Put my hand up in that situation there. But yeah, I said probably pretty disappointed by the Cowboys considering they're favorites. I probably expected them to win. I said I know I tipped Knights, but Knights just seem to have more to play for. I get it's round 1, but new coach, sort of new attacking style. KP coming back from injury. Dylan Brown, Knights debut. Fletcher Sharp back from injury. Dylan Lucas back from injury. Cowboys are pretty disappointing, and I hate to overreact from one game, and I don't usually because it's just round 1, but bottom 4 finish for Cowboys this season. I think Todd Payton is going to be going after halfway through the season. I'm not sure who's going to be the next guy there. I thought Josh Hannay was the assistant coach there. Bit of a weird one. Obviously, they've had bit of belief in Todd Payton for a while now. Missed finals last year. They made the finals a couple of years before that, 2023 and 2024, I think. Yeah, just pretty blasé, honestly. Just, I expected a little bit better, especially in that last 30 when I thought they had a bit of a run from minute 50 to minute 70. When they're 22-18 down, I thought they had some good opportunities, and it's honestly all credit to the Knights. I just thought defensively they looked pretty good. They shut down the main guys that needed to. Drinky, Dearden, Jackson Purdue didn't really give them a massive opportunity. I thought, that one opportunity that the Cowboys had to score through that grubber was like their best opportunity. It was just Dom Young coming out of his line. And that happens. I think they're going to be better from that. You got to be pretty happy if you're a Newcastle fan, considering the wooden spoons from last year. got to be pretty happy with that performance. And then they come back in 2 weeks and play Manly at Brookie in round 2. So come back, or they should be already on the flight back to Australia. Obviously, get over a bit of jet lag, train, and get ready for Manly. Which, going by what I think of Manly, I think Knights can definitely win that game and start 2-0, especially how Kalen Ponga plays. Love to see him try and back up that performance. I thought even without Fletcher Sharp on the field, thought Knights looked pretty solid. But when Fletcher Sharp is on the field with not Dom Young, with Kalen Ponga and Dylan Brown, man, it's a very threatening team. It's a very threatening team. It's capable of absolutely anything. Speaking of Dylan Brown, first game at 7, I thought he looked to run the ball a bit. I just think he did what he needed to do, and I think he'll only get better later in the season. Every time I'm going to watch a 7 now in Vegas, where it's on debut in 7, where it's early on in their career, like an Atkinson as well, I'm just going to go think straight back to Luke Metcalf. Obviously, I'm a Warriors fan, but I watched that game against the Raiders last year, round 1 in Vegas, and Metcalf was an absolute shell of himself. First game in the 7 role, he was an absolute shell of himself in that game there. And I just thought everyone sort of, I guess, said, no, he's a 6. You got to get Tamari Martin back in the 7. And he bounced back the week after against Manly in round 2. And if he doesn't get injured, he goes and wins a Dally M, I think, which is massive, right? And, I just think, I guess we maybe see similar from Dylan Brown. I think he's only going to get better and better in that 7 role. We heavily criticized him when he played 7 at Parramatta, but I honestly think that was probably better than any game that he played 7 for Parramatta. So I think it was very solid. From just shouldn't be expecting lights out from Dylan Brown. He'll only get better. He's in this team for a very, 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 very long time, 10-year contract, and it's his first game out of a potential 220 plus. You know what I mean? He's got so much time to sort of work into that. He's still so talented, so young as well. I think should have been the Golden Boot winner for New Zealand last year. Yeah, I think it can only get better for Newcastle even after that win, and for Dylan Brown in the half. So very impressed with Newcastle there in round 1, getting the win 28-18 to open the season. All right. Let's chat a bit about this Bulldogs-Dragons game. Bulldogs getting the win 15-14. Just quickly show you the scoreline there. Jacob Preston and Jackie Karras getting the tries for the Doggies. Emre Gula and Setu 2 scoring on debut for the Dragons there. Good game in the end. I thought for sort of the middle period from about minute 20 to about minute sort of 50, I was a bit like, hey, this is a bit how you going, a bit round 1-ish. Probably expected I think most people probably expected the Doggies to win by a bit more than this, just pre-game. Picking sort of where the Dragons are at pre-season, that sort of thing. Obviously losing in Cherry Shield. It's a weird one. Obviously, Dragons fans, like, you lost by 1. It's never good to, obviously, you don't want to lose, but you got to hold your head up high in some way. We'll talk about the ref. You know what? Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about it now before we get into the actual game. Let's move my seat. Let's get comfy. Because Grant Atkins, I've seen a lot of, I follow a few Dragons fans on sort of socials and, TikTok, that sort of thing. And they've obviously been all about the refs in this sort of situation. I've actually got Code Sports up with Shane Flanagan here in his quotes here. And what he said after the game, man, footy is so back when you know this is happening. To quote Shane Flanagan, it's a loose carry every day of the week without a doubt. There's that and a lot of others. We didn't get the rub of the green. It's disappointing and it wasn't decided the right way. The game has been put on a really high pedestal and I thought it shouldn't have been decided the way it was. The Bulldogs were good enough to win and kick the field goal, but I thought we should have gone home with 1 point each. Without a doubt, it's frustrating. The effort and attitude was outstanding. The Bulldogs got the field goal right, but I thought a draw was the right decision today. The NRL has done an outstanding job. The week has been fantastic. For the game to be decided like that is disappointing. You can't help but kind of agree with what Shannon Flanagan has to say. And I get it. We're going to have more bad ref calls throughout the season. And I've always kind of been a big sort of advocate, I guess, and similar, I guess, to other guys I listen to, that if you lose a game and you blame the refs, whether it's a decision at the end, that sort of thing, and you just blame one call at the end, it shows me that you had 78 other minutes or 79 other minutes during the game, or in this case, 89 other minutes during the game to go and win that game, and you actually didn't do enough. And you're saying it came down to one decision at the end. Where I look at it and said, yeah, like you didn't go win the game in the other 78, 79 minutes, 75 minutes that the game was played, where you didn't have a problem with the reffing. But what I will say, and so if we look at, well, I'll get at the stats now. If we look at the penalties conceded, so penalties conceded 9-3 from the Dragons, 2-6 against each. The big talking point was definitely, we're talking about the main one, obviously in Golden Point there with Bronson Sherry, the sort of illegal sort of strip. I forget who it was from. I think was it Toby Catchman, I want to say, with the sort of illegal strip. We're going to see more of those this year where it's going to be called a drop, a loose carry. It's an interesting one where I'm not sure what happens with the Captain's Challenge because you can't do that in Golden Point. 100% I would think the Dragons would have challenged that in regulation time. And whether the NRL implements a system kind of like what the NFL do. So in the NFL, in the last 2 minutes of the first and second half, there is like no challenges. So they actually can challenge throughout the whole game. But in the last 2 minutes of both the first and second half, there are no challenges. If the refs or the officials think there is a borderline call, they'll actually send it up for review. And I get it, the NRL doesn't want to slow things down, but the NRL has access to many camera angles, and in that meantime, where you have 30 sort of seconds to sort of pack a scrum, I think that is more than enough time to flick through a couple camera angles, fast forward here and there, to make a quick decision on whether that is a confirmed call or whether actually it was a wrong call. You see it happen during the game of play, whether it's a 20-meter restart instead of a dropout or vice versa. You see it happen, and I just don't know why it is a rule in Golden Point where NRL teams can't challenge a call. I think that's absolutely rubbish, considering that's the ending of the game, right? There's no draw, or obviously there is draws, right? Excuse me, but it's such a crucial point of the game that I think there should be some sort of like challenge system or review system. And I get it, they don't want to slow the game down, but I just think in the crucial moments like that, similar to what the NFL do, I think NRL should implement a system whether it's the last 5 minutes of regulation time and then all of Golden Point, where if there is obviously blown a penalty or there's an error, in the meantime, while the scrum's getting packed or that sort of thing, the decision can actually get quickly reviewed by the bunker, because you got, three guys mainly, or one guy mainly in the bunker, but it's like a few other guys there. Get two other guys there in the bunker to have a quick look at it. You get from different camera angles, and you'll be able to send it quickly down to ref and confirm or reverse the decision there. I would just be intrigued to see if that was in regulation time and Dragons were able to challenge that call, what the end result would have been in that situation there. And honestly, I think the call would have got reversed. And when I was watching it, I didn't put it in my highlights, but I think I have it as a recording still. I think I said that's a loose carry. I was very surprised at the call. When I saw it happen live, my first reaction was, wow, drop ball. Huge moment with a minute left to go in the whole game. Dragons going to get a set here on halfway. I was very shocked when it was actually called a penalty. So, other ones, I think the Catchman brothers went in for a tackle after the Doggies scored. I think it was just after the Jacob Preston try. Forced an error on Tupanua, and it's Doggies put up a challenge, and it was actually reversed for a shoulder charge, which I actually thought was probably fair, so I'm not ruling against that one there. The big, obviously, talking point is the Stephen Crichton hit on Setu 2, which I thought every day of the week, I watched that live, was 10 to bin. That's it. Tinfoil hat time. I've listened to some reviews, whether it's because he's a big name player, Stephen Crichton, and don't want him in the bin. I don't know, but if it's feel like it's any other player, you saw Braden Burns, shoulder to head. That was a swinging arm to the head there. Whether they say it's mitigating, he was falling down into it. Mate, you can't be putting a swinging arm to a head like that. There's still some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like some sort of, like not leeway, but it's still an arm to the head, a swinging arm to the head. There's got to be some sort of punishment for that. I think a penalty just out of that, and to keep crying on the field and him not even get charged from it is blasphemy. I think it's absolute bullshit. I think it should at least be one game. If they want to go and challenge it, like he's not guilty and get off, I'm fine with that. But I think that just sets the standard for the rest of the year that teams are going to look and they go, okay, he's going to get off. Like, we're happy to, like, obviously concede a penalty. But, man, I think that one, and there was a kick-out obstruction call with Setu 2 going back as well, where Setu 2 obstructed a kick-out off a kick. Just thought, again, that was rubbish. But at the same time, I think there were a couple, sort of, brain-dead moments from both sides. I thought Salmon Hughes, he took out Clint Gutherson on a kick chase, which was unnecessary. Luciano Leilua giving away a penalty when he had the ball. Couple sort of round one moments, and yeah, I just saw there's a couple ref decisions that could have gone either way. But yeah, I can definitely understand Dragons fans, but I just want to see a better review system, I guess, similar to what the NFL do. I don't want to slow the game obviously down too much, but at the same time, I do want to see the right calls being made in that situation. All right, this review is going down pretty long now just for 2 games, but let's get into quickly the team stats here. Wow, good completion rates, 88% from the Dragons. Wow, 80% from the Doggies here. Run meters, wow, 2,300 to 1,750 there. I do think that obviously the Doggies probably were the better side, just didn't really think they converted the chances that they had, which they did have plenty of chances. 50 meters to 42 centimeter average set distance, which is massive. What else is notable on here? Tackles, defense was pretty solid. 27 from the Dragons, 26 from the Doggies there. We spoke about not too many errors from the Dragons, 6, but obviously the penalty count was pretty lopsided there. All right, let's get into the player stats because, as I said, this review is going on for a little bit too much. Let's talk about the Doggies quickly. Thought Connor Tracy was not too bad at the back there. Obviously had that bit of a weird sort of line break from a kick chase, which is really weird kick return. Karaz, he just keeps doing the damn thing. Did not play a trial, was under an injury cloud during the off-season, but man, scored a try. 29 runs at 278 meters, 77 post contact, 1 line break assist, 1 tackle break. 1 tackle break for Karaz is pretty darn low, but he does just not miss a beat. Him and Crichton on that left edge is going to be a problem. Crichton obviously kicking the winning field goal, which is pretty clutch. I thought all day it was going to Matt Burton. But Stephen Crichton, the captain in that situation, says, no, give me the ball. Literally the last kick of the game. If he misses that field goal, it literally is a draw to start the year for these two teams. And he absolutely slaughtered it. Matt Burton took a couple attempts at the end of, in Golden Point. Stephen Crichton, 1 shot, got it. Absolutely nailed it. Thought he wasn't too bad there on that left edge. He'll only get better. I want to talk about these halves quickly. I get this review is going on 40 minutes, but I just want to talk about these halves because I get it's only round 1. Let's just give it a chance. Mitch Woods is under a bit of an injury cloud, obviously, at the moment. But I spoke about in the preseason, I think Mitch Woods should be the 7 in this club. I don't think Galvin is a 7. I think he's a 6. I don't think Matt Burton is suited to 6. I think he's better as a center. So all preseason, I said Mitch Woods 7, Lockie Galvin 6, Matt Burton should be in the centers, whether it's right or left center, and put Bronson Xerri on the wing. And unfortunately, Montoya, as not as I think solid as he has been, he's just got to drop out. The organization from Burton and Galvin in the last 5 minutes and some of these Golden Points field goal setups, whether it's just round 1, was atrocious. To put it lightly, especially that set that had 4 minutes to go in the game, that had set right on the Dragons line and didn't even look close to setting a field goal. They decided to run it. It was a terrible last play choice there. They could have easily slotted over the field goal. What has happened to slotting a field goal with 3 to 4 minutes to go, taking the lead, and literally 3 minutes to go and defending your line? I just don't get it in that situation there. And I think if we keep seeing it, I think Mitch Woods should get in there as soon as he can. Rip the Band-Aid off. Put Galvin back to 6 where he can use his running game. Let Mitch Woods be a game manager in this team. Let Burton... Feels like Matt Burton, all he is good for is just bombs up, which he can still do from center. He's done it in Origin. 15 runs, 156 meters. No line breaks, no line break assist, no try assist, no line engage runs, just the 4 tackle breaks here. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't really do a whole lot in this game that really looked at me and said he's a 6. I thought Galvin was easily the pick of the bunch in the half. 22 runs, 190 meters. Obviously had that assist to Preston to start the game as well, which I thought that combo early on is going to be absolutely lethal this season. 2 line break assists and a try assist. 1 tackle break. I feel like he can still do this. Wow, he had 35 tackles, Lockie Galvin. That is immense. I feel like they can still do it with Lockie Galvin there at 6. Excuse me. Oh, wow. But yeah, that is just my opinion now. I think they've got to get Mitch Woods in that 7 role as quickly as possible when he's back. I just thought, especially that setup, I just think that really comes down to how they've practiced, how they've trained, and how they work together as halves. I just thought it was absolutely atrocious. I was absolutely blowing up when that happened. Bailey Hayward just did the damn thing. Didn't really go for, I think he didn't even go for a run. Just literally made a whole bunch of tackles. 54 tackles, 6 missed. Kick out, the edges were awesome. Kick out and Preston here. Preston getting the first try of the match. Kick out was awesome. Had a few line breaks in this one here. Where kick out was awesome. I thought he was just an absolute tank in this one here. Line breaks, 2 line breaks. Jacob Preston had 1. James Salmon, not too bad. The bench, not too bad as well. All right, let's talk about the Dragons. Nice and quickly. Thought Gutho, nice and solid at the back. Didn't really do too much. I thought 24 runs, 210 meters, which is kind of what you expect out of Gutho week in, week out. Didn't really, so no line breaks, no try assist. He had 6 tackles, 1 miss. That's not really important for a fullback. The winger, Setu 2. I get it. He cramped up with like 15 minutes to go. 15 runs, 98 meters. I thought he copped it, and honestly, I was watching and I was like, you can't have a tougher opponent than the Doggies on debut. I thought he was not struggling, but I was like, man, this guy's just absolute copping. He's dealing with it really well. You got Crichton running in, Burden putting out bombs to him. You got Karaz running him as well. Ended up scoring a try on debut, which I thought was awesome considering his story. 27 years old, played for the Warriors in New South Wales Cup, which you love to see. Val was solid. Moses Sully wasn't too bad as well. I think he went off with a HIA during the game there. The halves, I think of Atkinson like it's his first game in the Dragon 7 for a long period of time. Similar to, I guess, Metcalf last year. He's just got to build into it. I think I rate Atkinson as a player. Wouldn't shock me if Atkinson absolutely tears it up round 2, where he just gets that bit more of confidence in running game, where he just looked a bit of a passenger, sort of a lot of the kicking game. I think he had a lot of kick meters in this one here. It felt like 887 kick meters. Yeah, he kicked every single fifth and last, it felt like. Damien Cook, I want to give a shout out. He played 90 minutes in the middle in the first round, 9 runs, 89 meters. But it wasn't that. It was the 70 fucking tackles and the 2 missed tackles in this game. Cookie, despite, I forget, he must be mid-30s now. Despite his age, just keeps doing the damn thing. Super impressive. Thought the Catchman brothers were unbelievable in this game, particularly Ryan Catchman playing 56 minutes off the bench, 11 runs, 92 meters, 53 tackles in this game. He had the second most tackles for the Dragons off the bench for the Dragons. He was absolutely immense. Thought Hamish Stewart was okay. James Stewart not too bad on the right edge. Leilua thought was a bit quiet. He is in my super coach team. Thought he could have been a little bit better. Emre Gula scored a little nice try, which I thought was surprising. That little kick chase that he put in. Was very, very surprised by that. Dragons chose not to choose Blake Laurie and King Tongi to come on to the field. Speaking of Setu too, obviously I thought Matt Burden put up a lot of bombs on him. A lot. His kick return meters, he would have... Yeah, he had 15 kick return meters, but he must have caught close to 10 bombs, I would have thought. And just got absolutely peppered. Obviously, copped that swinging arm as well. As soon as Matt Fine came on for Setu 2, Matt Fine, the first chance of him catching a bomb, dropped it. So, thought Setu 2 did pretty well. He'll only get better and better and better. If you don't know who Setu 2 is, haven't watched too much New South Wales Cup, he is going to be absolutely elite in the NRL. He's going to absolutely light it up. He's only going to get better and better. Debut at 27. Such a good story. I think he lost his mum at 12 to cancer. Older brother adopted at 15. did his ACL, I think, or started playing rugby league when he was 18. Did his ACL when he was it 21 or 24, just before he was at the debut. So really happy for Tetu too. Like, you can't go wrong. Just want to check while I'm here who these two have got next. So Cowboys have got Tigers Saturday afternoon at Leichhardt. That's going to be tricky. Dragons have got the Storm at Wollongong at home Saturday afternoon. And then the Knights have Manly that we spoke about. And Doggies have the bye. So couple winning sort of matchups coming for a couple of those teams. It'll be interesting to see how the Dragons bounce back in round 2. I know the Dragons beat them in this matchup last year at home, but that was in the pouring wet. So it'll be interesting to see how they go this time round. But that'll do it for me, guys. Wow, 45-minute review of those two games. But footy is back, man. Just cannot stop freaking talking about it. Made me so happy watching those games yesterday. I couldn't even sleep last night. Even my partner was like, I just think you couldn't sleep because, you're just way too energetic about the footy. And that was, I couldn't get to sleep until like midnight, 1 a.m. And I actually think that's true. It was just like so good to have footy back. So ecstatic. We are so back, baby. We are absolutely so back. Whether it's bad ref calls, whether it's, it's all sorts of things. Good to see Callum Ponga back into the fold, obviously playing well. But yeah, that'll do it for me, guys. I will bring you a Supercoach review coming up pretty much later on, as soon as this podcast comes out as well for you, breaking down those two games from a Supercoach point of view. I haven't had too bad of a start for my team. We'll have other podcasts out during the week, whether it's Trade Room, whether it's a preview of the week, other round 1 matches ahead. Got our first sort of official, I guess, big TLT coming out today when you're listening to this, or tomorrow, depending when I put this out, which is epic. We get the other 12 teams teamless finally. But yeah, we are back, baby. So good to have it back. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you go check out all my socials. Make sure you go like this video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers.